Hey folks, what's up? I'm talking to you from my backyard today. It's really hot. That's why I got my hat on. So the reason why I'm talking to you from my backyard today is because it's just has a little bit to do with nature and mathematics. And as we know, mathematics explains the universe, right? So it's the base of everything that explains everything. So the title of my quick video today is that AGI, artificial intelligence, AGI has a math problem, and as a problem, a math problem, it just can't get around, right? So as a basis, we know, for example, um, that, like I said, math explains the universe, right? But what happens is what AGI is saying. It's trying to get to a level of intelligence that surpasses human intelligence or can think like human intelligence. Who knows? It's a belief. It's a theory. The whole thing about machine learning, neural networks, and all that. It's a theory. It's a belief. It's not real, right? Because we know, right? Learning takes place through observation, right? So you observe, and that observation gives you experience, wisdom, and so on. And that's how, observation and sensory observation, that's how humans learn best, right? And just quickly, just a quick example. When I was playing football in university, and basketball actually, yeah, I was a two sport athlete, yeah, and I actually graduated. So we used to have playbooks in football, but who reads the playbook? At least for me, I was a defensive back. I don't need a playbook. It's all skill and what's up here for a defensive back, right? But what happens is that when we need to learn plays, right, coverages or whatnot, or the even on the offense side, right, the coaches will demonstrate the plays, right? They will demonstrate the routes. They will demonstrate your coverages, and you watch it. You watch it a couple of times. You practice it. You learn it, and boom, like in a minute, you got it. Okay. So this sensory observation is the magic in terms of what makes humans so special and how we can learn. Now, this whole, AGI thing, and this machine learning again, which is not real, says it can do the same thing and compete with humans, or even be better by humans by learning via text and language, because that's the only thing it can learn from, right? So unless, to me, unless a machine can become conscious, there is no way that it can ever get to, human level type of intelligence. But let's just break down the math for a second. And I scribbled some stuff down here this morning, okay? Just some quick, calculations. Now, all you fancy data scientists and mathematicians, don't hold me to task. I'm not a mathematician. I just know a little bit about math. Um, so let's say, for example, I have here, you know, from a how LLMs are trained. From a modern LLM perspective, it trains about on 20 trillion, roughly, the average 20 trillion, bytes, for example. Large language models as much as it can on the whole internet, for example. But let's say it's around 20 trillion. It might be probably a little bit more. I don't know, but let's go with that number, right? So that's what it trains on, and that is text, is basically text. Okay? Now, let's take a 4-year-old baby. Okay, been on the world in the world for 4 years, for 4 years old. Now, a baby can look and understand very quickly that if an object, for example, that's not supported, you know, can fall, right? So a baby can know quickly that if something, is unsupported, it will fall. That's observation. Okay, and a 4-year-old baby has a lot more observation and learning capacity in it than any data model, LLM model can do. But let me just do the math. So I said that from a data perspective, it's about 20 trillion that the average LLM has trained on, right? Now, a 4-year-old baby at that time, you know, has what did I calculate here? Has about 2 million optical nerves, a million per eye, right? And it's like what was the calculation here? It was like you know, in each particular a million per eye, but it's like something like 3 bytes per second or whatnot, that quick. But anyways, what that translates to, okay? Just cut to the chase and the bottom line. Won't bore you with the equation, but what that translates to is a baby has 110, right? 110 trillion bytes, okay? 110. An LLM model that trains, on text, right? Okay, has no understanding of the real world. So you tell me, right? An LLM model that basically, trains on, 20 trillion of data, right? That's how is it going to compete with, 110, right, trillion from a 4-year-old baby? Okay, and we all learn, and that baby's learning from observation. So that baby has more capacity than any flipping model. So again, the key is don't be fooled by the nonsense that they're telling you in Silicon Valley that we can get to AGI one day, right? The problem is ask them to explain the math. Okay, ask them how. Okay, and like I said, unless you can find a way for a machine to become conscious, okay? Explain the math. How is it possible if we learn on sensory observation and an LLM has no idea of what it's doing relative to the real world, right? It has no ability to observe the real world. It has no consciousness. So how can you possibly get to AGI? So what AGI is basically, okay, the Sam Altman, don't forget, OpenAI, started with Elon Musk and, and a cool idea that these guys wanted to get to AGI. And the whole world is running on something that is not useful to them, okay? Large language models, absolutely, they have some value, okay? But this AGI thing has a math problem. So, we got to get them to explain the math as opposed to saying, oh, it's going to happen and blah, blah, blah. So my company, 6AI Technologies, we're not wasting time about AGI because that does nothing for us right now. So how we see, how 6AI sees, generative AI, right, is as a partner, an augmenting partner to help individuals, do their jobs better. It's really as simple as that. We are not here to replace human intelligence. We're not here to, believe that, machines should run the world and humans should take a back seat. We don't believe in that. First of all, that can't happen. Okay. But what we're saying here is there is a use of AI, okay, that can act as a partner with any human, okay, to enhance their value in the workplace or whatever they're trying to do in their lives. So again, 6AI is not here to replace, but we're here to be an augmenting partner, right? For ordinary people, okay, to make the choices they want about what they want to build and what they want to create. Okay, so I hope this this quick talk, try to keep it quick, but is helpful to you. So when people talk about AGI and all that, ask them to do the math. Ask them to do the math in terms of the data that can be gotten from the internet, and compare that to what a 4-year-old child can do. Again. So for us, for 6AI Technologies, it's not about replacing humans. It's not about the chase of AGI. That we just think it's nonsense. It's about helping humans now by giving them technology that can make them better in the work that they do. Okay, so we are a strategy tool that's essentially there to help people better by using technology how they like it in order to improve themselves and increase their value in the universe. Okay, folks, I try to keep this as non-technical as possible, but I hope this was of some value to you, and I'm just wishing you a wonderful day. All right, Applied Intelligence out.